everybody, my name is Quinn. I'm 8 years old. Do you know the smallest continent on Earth? Or maybe the largest island on Earth? Well, today we're going to talk about Australia and find out about fun fact about Australia. Australia is the smallest continent in the world, but as I told you, it is also the largest island in the world. It's not only a continent and an island, but also a country. Be careful of its triple threat. You may think that the first people to settle in Australia were British, but you are wrong. Even though many people in Australia today speak English, the first actual people were Aboriginal people. The Aborigines live in the area which is called the Outback. We'll learn later about the Outback later in this video. First, I need to tell you about one thing about Australia. It's called the land down under. You might think that's very strange, but do you know what down under means? It means that Australia is in the southern hemisphere, while most of the continents are in the northern hemisphere. So that means Australia's seasons are opposite to what it's like in North America or Europe. Also, Australia has many landmarks. Some landmarks like Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Sydney Opera House. The Sydney Opera House was actually made by a Danish architect, not an Australian. There's another famous landmark called Mount Augustus. Uluru, also called Ayers Rock. Uluru is sacred to the Aborigines because of its rock caves and cave paintings. Another very fun fact is that Australia is made up of 6 states: Victoria, New South Wales, Northern Territory, South Australia, Tasmania, and Queensland. They are the states that Australia are divided into. However, let me tell you about British settlers. They came to Australia in the 19th century, which in other words is the 1800s. They took most of the land, and still today 20% of Aboriginal people live in Australia. Now, I told you about an area called the Outback, where the Aboriginal people lives. Well, it's made up of dry desert. So if you come there, you better put on sunscreen and sunglasses to avoid the heating sun and also to protect your skin from the sun. But Australia is famous for cricket in summer and football in winter. Also, there are some water sports too, like surfing. If you go to Australia in summer, remember to get your surfboard, if you have one, to go surfing. There are also many kinds of wildlife. Koalas, kangaroos, wombats, platypuses, emu, and kiwis live in Australia, but Australia is most famous for its kangaroos. There are a lot, 17 to 18 million species of kangaroos due to the weather. Also, there are about 238 species of birds with 55 kinds of parrots. Now that's amazing. I guess if you want to buy a parrot, you better head to Australia to see one, or even to buy one as your entertainment pet. This is the end of my video. Thank you for watching, and it's time for me to say goodbye and see you next time.